Is it still going to be worth joining a salary sacrifice scheme for an electric vehicle, given the fact that benefit in kind rates are really now starting to ramp up? Let's do some figures and find out. Welcome back to the channel, folks. JD here again with another quick finance related video for you. I was quite surprised a couple of weeks ago when I found out what the planned benefit in kind rates are going to increase to after 2027. Currently they are 3%. From April 26 they are 4%, from April 27 they are 5%, and that's kind of where it had got to up until fairly recently. I was surprised to find out that from 2028 they're not going to increase by 1%, they're going to increase by 2%, making it 7%. But it doesn't stop there. The year after, it's going to be it's going to be 9% in 2029. So is it going to be worth salary sacrificing if the benefit in kind is ramping up? So what I thought I'd do is just nip over to Lease Loco. And I've chosen a car. So I've literally just ordered a Skoda Enyaq Coupe VRS. So I've picked this one. This isn't the VRS, but it was one of the first cars that came up in my history on Lease Loco. And what I thought I'd do is let's look at a personal lease, and then let's look at a salary sacrifice arrangement with increasing salaries and also benefit in kind rates to determine where the sweet spot's going to be and at what point is it not going to be worth bothering with salary sacrifice. So this car, look, is a Enyaq Coupe 85 Sportline. I've done it on 2 years, 1 plus 23, so 1 month down, 23 equal rentals. And on a personal lease, that's coming out at £474.38. Let's see what it would cost on a business lease. So we change this to business. And that's obviously without the VAT, so £395.32. Now, when you salary sacrifice a car rental, normally you can get a 50% reduction in the VAT rate. So if we work out what 10% of that amount is, so if we do 395, what was it? 395.32 times 1.1. So we would be salary sacrificing each month from our gross salary £434.85. So let's go to the salary sacrifice calculator, and you can always get yourself a copy of this from me for a one-off donation of £10. Send me an email, I'll give you the details. I've also got a PCP voluntary termination calculator spreadsheet as well, which is also available. Now, on the spreadsheet, let's assume it's a standard tax code that we've got, so 1257L, frozen for 1,000 years. Will it ever increase? Who knows? Not until 2031, I think, at the moment. Let's assume we've got a standard tax code. Let's assume no other deductions, no other salary sacrifice arrangements, no pension, that kind of thing. And let's say we are just under the higher rate tax band, so we earn £50,000 a year. And we are going to salary sacrifice that amount, which was the business lease plus 10%, £434.85 or £5,218.20 a year. Now, if there was no benefit in kind at all, that car would cost us £313 a month. So our net pay would reduce by £313.09, which is a saving of 28%. Now that makes perfect sense because that's a 20% tax saving and an 8% personal NI saving. Okay. Now, what happens if we apply the 3% rate, which is where we currently are at in tax year 25-26? So let's assume the car costs £50,000, give or take, because that's what it is really on a coupe Sportline, about £50,000. So that means that at 3%, if you're not sure how this works, £1,500 comes off our tax code. Now, that doesn't mean it costs us £1,500. That means it costs us £1,500 multiplied by our standard tax rate. So in this case, it's 20%. That gives us a new tax code of 1107L and a new cost of £338.09, a 22.25% saving plus half the VAT as well. So it's still very worthwhile doing, because if you remember, on a personal lease, it was £474 a month. This year, it's going to go to 4%. Let's put 4% in. So it's going to go up to £346.43 a month, a saving of just over 20%. So again, still worth doing. 5% next year, £354, still worth doing. 7%, £371, a saving of 14%, still worth doing. Just 9%, £388.09. So again, still worth doing, but you can see the savings are reducing. It's only now 10.75% saving plus that initial 10% VAT saving as well, or 50% of the total VAT, if you see what I mean. What if we, though, were a higher rate taxpayer? So let's put in a new salary at £75,000 a year, and let's go back to where we're currently at. So at the moment, it's a 3% BiK rate. That car would only cost us £302 a month. So big savings here, 30.5% saving, even with the 3% benefit in kind. At 4%, £318, 5%, £335, still worth doing. At 7%, £368, and at 9%, £402. So yes, it's still worth doing, but if you're a 40% taxpayer at 9% benefit in kind, you're only saving 7.5% plus half the VAT. So what rate does benefit in kind need to go to for making it not worthwhile? So let's say it goes up to, who knows, 11% the year after. Wow, look, we are now 0.16% down on the deal. So with salary sacrifice 434.85, and it's cost us 435.55. Now we're still better off because obviously we've got that 10% VAT saving, but that's it. So basically what we're saying is, if you are a 40% taxpayer and you have a car with a P11D value of £50,000 and the BiK rate goes to 11%, all you are saving is 10% VAT. What happens at 12%? 4% down, 452 net. 13%? It's getting close, look. 468 that car would cost us net, a saving of minus 7% plus the VAT. Now watch what happens at 14%, and this could easily happen. There are many cars, petrol and diesel cars, that have got a BiK rate of 30% plus. Look at that. 485.55 versus, on a personal arrangement, 474.38. So if you were a 40% taxpayer and you were going to salary sacrifice this particular car, and benefit in kind rates increased to 14%, it wouldn't be worth bothering. Now, what would happen, and it could happen, I'm sure a couple of years ago when I looked, a standard kind of BMW 320 diesel had a BiK rate of about 32%. Let's see what would happen if it ever went that high. So we are going to salary sacrifice a car at £434 a month with a 32% benefit in kind, and we're a 40% taxpayer. That car would cost us £785.55, a saving of minus 80%, give or take the extra bit of VAT. That is nuts. So basically, I think what we've proven today is, with this particular example, and £50,000 isn't a huge amount for an electric vehicle. You know, there are many, many, many cars that are a lot higher than that. I tell you what, my BMW i5, which is going back in a couple of weeks, had a P11D value of £85,000. If I put that back to 9%, which is going to be in 2029, look at that. It would actually cost £507. Assuming the same salary sacrifice amount, it wouldn't be that much. It'd be more like 700. I think that's what I currently pay. So if I change that, sorry, I can't do it there. 700 times 12, and a P11D value of 85,000 and a rate of 9%, it would cost £661. So a slight saving, but there's not much in it. Food for thought, isn't it really? You know, yes, there was a time when electric vehicle salary sacrifice schemes were a brilliant idea, and they still are. But how long will it last? Obviously, we're now paying vehicle excise duty on them. We're now paying the luxury car band on them. Fair enough. We all use the roads. I won't get political, but no idea where the money's going. The potholes around me are absolutely horrendous. I have buckled 3 of the wheels on my BMW i5 just by driving around our roads. Anyway, we're obviously paying that. Benefit in kind is increasing. It's going to only go in one direction. There's going to be a point when we may as well just have a personal lease. As I said, if you want to get your hands on a copy of either of my tools, this is the PCP spreadsheet. You can work out your monthly payments, overpayments, when you can voluntarily terminate. And also, if you want to get a copy of the spreadsheet that I've been using today, you can send me an email at this address somewhere. Bear with me. There it is. There. And I will send you a copy. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. I hope that was useful. Take care.